Okay, Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. How was your day? I hope you are doing great. Okay, today we'll continue with our chapter 8, that is behavioral modeling. Okay, so this is the last chapter where we will learn on the modeling, on the diagram. Okay, so today we will learn on the system sequence diagram, um, state machine diagram, and also use case description. Okay, these are our learning outcomes. Okay, first, you will learn on how to write fully developed use case description, and then activity diagram, system sequence diagram, state machine diagram, and also how does use case description and UML diagrams work together to define the functional requirements. Okay, first let's look at into use case description. Okay, so what is use case description? Basically, we have that use case diagram. Remember the use case diagram? Okay, so we need use case description. Why? Because we want to explain the details of the process. Okay, so by definition, a use case description is a textual model that lists and describes the processing details for a use case. Okay, and there are two types of use case description. First is brief use case description, and the other one is fully developed description. So if you are still remember, we have learned on the brief description in our chapter 6. Okay, so brief description, we just have only 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, this is a brief description. While fully developed description, we have several other details that need to be included. So this is the fully developed use case description. Okay, so we have gone through on this brief use case description. So I hope you have that idea and you still remember on the brief use case description. Okay, today we will continue with the fully developed use case description. Okay, this is an example of a use case description for create customer account. Okay, these are the components that must be included in our fully developed use case description. Okay, so we have several components. First, use case name. Okay, what is your use case name? Must be the same with your with the use case name in your use case diagram. Okay, and then scenario. When will we use this use case? The triggering event. Okay, remember the 3 types of event. Okay, so you need to define the triggering event that trigger this use case, and some short brief description. Okay, please remember, I would suggest you to use the requirements template in brief description. Okay, the requirements template. Okay, next, actors that are involved in this use case description. Okay, in this use case, related use cases, if any, stakeholders, which domain involved for this use case, precondition, post-condition, I will explain this later, flow of activities. Okay, for flow of activities, okay, we will separate it into 2 columns, actor and system. Okay, how to write the flow of activities? We read it from in this way. Okay, in this way. Okay, for example, customer indicates desire to create customer account and enters basic information. Okay, so this is the action from the actor. And then after actor run this action, the first action, and then the system will respond in this way. Okay, these are the behaviors of the system. Okay, so customer create customer account and enter basic customer info. And then the system will create a new customer and system prompt for customer addresses. And then we move into the second flow. Okay, customer enters 1 or more address, system create address, system prompts for credit and debit card. Okay, so why do I explain on this, on how to read this flow of activities? Because there were students that confused on how to write the flow of activities. Okay, because you tend to write it in this way. Okay, but instead you should write it in this way: flow of actor and how does the system respond to the actor's action. Okay, so look at the numbering. Okay, 1 for first action by the actor, and 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Okay, that are the numbering for the responses from the systems. Okay, so in this example there are 4 responses from the system, so we have up until 3.4. Okay, and then we have exception condition. What is exception condition? Exception condition is the condition where this system doesn't respond accordingly. Okay, for example, in this flow of activities, we mentioned that the system will create a customer. Okay, system creates a new customer. We have the exception condition. Okay, what is exception condition? Okay, there is a condition where the system do not create a new customer. Okay, in our flow of activities, supposedly system creates a new customer, but now system doesn't create a new customer. So we need to check why the system doesn't create a new customer. So we can look at the exception condition. So exception condition for 1.1 is basic customer data are incomplete. So due to this reason, this flow cannot be run. Okay, clear? Okay, so let's look into the second example. 2.1, the address is invalid. Okay, 2.1, system creates address. So supposedly system will create address when customer enters addresses. Okay, but there is a condition where system will not create address. So we need to check what is the reason. So the reason is because the address is not valid. Okay, so we must write the exception condition based on the system response. Why the system doesn't respond as what we write in our flow of activities. Okay, so that is exception condition. Okay, this is an example of the fully developed use case description. Okay, look at into what is precondition. Okay, we have precondition. Precondition is what must be true before the use case begins. For example, what objects must exist, what information must be available, what is the condition of actor. Okay, in this example, we want to create customer account. Okay, so the precondition, customer account subsystem must be available. Why? Because if the system is not available, then we cannot run this use case. Okay, and then credit debit authorization services must be available. So that is precondition. Why? Because in our flow of activities, customer must enter credit or debit card information. So this system or this service must be available. So that is precondition. Precondition is what must be true before we run that use case. Okay, the other example is if we want to update the customer information or customer account. We want to update customer account. Okay, what is the precondition? The customer account must exist. Okay, why? Because we cannot update the non-existing customer account. Okay, so the customer account must exist. Okay, then we can update the customer account. Okay, so that is precondition. Let's look at into what is post-condition. Okay, post-condition is what must be true after the use case is completed. So this is the vice versa of the precondition. Okay, post-conditions is what must be true after the use case is completed. Okay, meaning that after we run the use case, what will happen? Okay, what will be happened? Okay, so for example, we want to create customer account. So the post condition would be customer must be created and saved. Okay, addresses must be created and saved. Credit debit card information must be validated. Account must be created and saved. Okay, so these are the post condition. So basically, post condition is what will be happened after we run this use case. Okay, so let's say we want to update the customer account. So the post condition would be the customer account must be updated. Or we want to delete the customer account, so the customer account must be deleted. Okay, that is post condition. what will be happened after we run all of this flow of activities, after we run this use case. Okay, so that is post condition. Okay, so this is the flow of activities as I explained it before. Okay, so we have the sequence of steps and the response. So basically we write the step and then the systems respond, the next step the system responds, and the next step and the system responds. Okay, so this is the flow of activity. Okay, next is the exception or alternative condition. So this one, as I told you before, why why the system doesn't respond accordingly. So this is the reasons. Okay, that exception conditions.